right, so we are going to have another spectacular panel. This panel will be on AARP affiliates, and we're going to start with Tom Kember, who's the Senior Vice President and Executive Director for Older Adults for Technology Services. Then in the middle, we have Mayoshi Moses, who's the Vice President for Experience Corps, and we have Jared Bloomfield, who's the Field Director for Wish of a Lifetime. And let me tell you, AARP is always innovative and on the cutting edge, and these programs are on the cutting edge. So with that, Tom, take it away.
Great, thank you. I'm really excited to be here. Actually, my title is Executive Director of OATS from AARP, which is kind of a neat thing. We've got our official title now as an organization includes our affiliation to AARP. So I'm just going to tell you kind of briefly about what we do at OATS and how we became an affiliate, and we'll kind of pass along, I think, with the other questions, and you can follow up. But I started OATS. It's a nonprofit organization, and I was the founder in 2004 in New York City when we realized that a lot of older people are having a hard time getting online and using technology, and it seemed at the time that people were asking me in 2004, well, after you get all the seniors online, then what are you going to do? I'm not kidding. Like, this was a thing I had to deal with, and I would go to foundations, and they would say, oh, this is a problem that's going to solve itself in a few years, you know? And so here we are in 2022, and it's one of the principal challenges is how people use technology to be able to improve their well-being and stay connected to their communities. And of course, with the pandemic, it became even more acute and more of a crisis for people. So it's been a really a very interesting and exciting career that we've had here. And what our specialty is we teach people who are mostly beginners, although that's changed over the years, but we still get the majority of people come to us and ask for basic training on how to get on the internet and what to do. And all of our courses are free, so we don't charge people for the classes. We figure it's a social challenge, and we're all trying to solve this together, so we try to make it something that's supported with community and foundation and government resources. We've grown that from one site in Bedford Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. I'm sure some of you have been to Brooklyn and can know what that's like, all the way to all across New York City. I speak some Spanish, so we did a lot of work in the Bronx. And eventually we grew outside of New York to other states, and we started working with affiliate organizations, kind of partners, not really affiliates. We're going to use that, we're going to save that word for what we're doing here. But we worked with partners around the country to make sure that we could raise the sort of bar and the standard for how technology programs were done for older people. You know, when we first started, a lot of those programs were really designed as afterthoughts. You know, somebody would create a senior center, and then they would say, oh, let's put a computer lab in the basement or in the back somewhere. But it wasn't really central to people's focus. And we felt that we could get people to do more with it if we wrote the curriculum and started using metrics and evaluating our results and impact. And that seemed to create more of a momentum around it. And a few years ago, we were called by AARP, and Scott Frisch was leading an initiative to use capital within the organization differently, and looking at that affiliation model to try to bring in sort of new capacities and new approaches that instead of having to build everything in-house, there's a chance to bring in people that have been working on it for years. So we did a lot of soul searching because we were a small nonprofit. We're about 80 people right now. We've been growing, but we're still medium-sized. And decided that it was a real, I guess, the chance of a lifetime, I guess the wish of a lifetime in a way. But for us, it was really an opportunity to take our work to another level. In 4 years, we had grown to 5 more states before the affiliation. And I did the math on that. I realized by the time we got to all 50 states, I would be 105 years old. Which, I'm optimistic about my productivity, but it does give us a chance to just get on the A team of people who have incredible resources and are committed to the same mission that we are. We did a teach-in at OATS a little while ago. I was just looking at some Ellen Percy Andrews sneakers that I am very deeply admiring right now. I'm definitely got to get those made up. But we did a teach-in at OATS about Ellen Percy Andrews, and the staff were really bowled over by how much she and the vision that AARP has kind of dovetails perfectly with how we think at OATS. We're all about using technology to change the way we age and come up with new and better models. All of our programs are called Senior Planet, and so you can find all of our stuff online at seniorplanet.org. And that again is all free. It's targeted to anybody over 50. We have about 700 people every day taking our morning stretch classes online on Zoom. We have sessions and articles that we put together. We work with AARP doing programs with the Virtual Community Center. And the slogan at Senior Planet is aging with attitude. So you have to bring some attitude when you join Senior Planet, but you're allowed to do it your own special way. It's very, very inclusive and diverse, and we really work to make sure that we're accessible to everybody. I can answer more questions later, but that's who we are. We work very closely with AARP now, and we're happy to be part of the family.
Excellent. That's good stuff there. Yeah. Thank you so much. Mayoshi?
Hi, thank you. I have some slides. I can't see. Are they up? I was very excited to be invited to come join you all this morning, given our program. So Experience Corps is a unique program in that it's housed within the AARP Foundation. And the Foundation's mission is really to end senior poverty. And we at Experience Corps believe that that begins in school, with education, with kids. And so that's our program. We are an intergenerational literacy tutoring program. It is volunteer supported 100%, and we work with students across the country who are in underserved communities. And our goal is to help ensure that those kids are reading on grade level by 3rd grade, because we recognize the importance of children knowing how to read by then so they can begin to read to learn going forward. And so we're really excited about our program. And what we do is, as I mentioned, it's intergenerational. We're helping kids build their fluency and literacy skills. And we do that by pairing older adults with our students so they can help tutor. And so one of the things that's really important about our program is that we're national. We're all over the country. And the reason I'm excited about being here is because we are in 18 sites right now, and I want to grow those sites. And to be able to do that, we need volunteers. And so, as I said, this program is 100% volunteer supported. So the way that we're successful is because of our volunteers. And so right now, we are in 18 sites. I'd like to grow that, and I'm hoping that you all can help me with that. Our program, we tutor either in school, depending on where we are, or in after-school programs. And we tutor in person is how we started, but because of the pandemic, we now tutor virtually. We've developed the infrastructure and process and training to be able to ensure that students who are learning virtually are able to be tutored virtually. And so, as Tom said, when older adults learn how to use digital tools, what to do, they can tutor. That's what they can do. They can tutor with the Experience Corps program. I want to share with you how wonderful our program is. For our impact on our students is really incredible. And these data that you're seeing now are data that we've from during the pandemic time. So we're really excited how successful we've been, particularly excited about the 80% of our students who really improved their social emotional learning. And as you can imagine, the students, what they were experiencing during the pandemic was really could be seen as trauma. And so the fact that our program was able to help improve those skills in our students, we were really excited about that. And so, we have great impact on students, but on our volunteers as well. The older adults who decide to become part of this program, we have 98% acknowledge that they feel more physically and mentally active by being involved in this program. And then 96% of them feel an increased sense of purpose. So it's a really great opportunity to, as we like to say, particularly with this group, be something as our educator's second act. Is there something that, if you're interested in continuing to support your community, this is a great way of doing that. And so what we like to say is that we're a triple win. We are supportive. Our program is important for school communities, for students, and for all of our older adult volunteers. And so I have a video that is I'd like to share with you. Hopefully we'll be able to see it. That gives you a glimpse into what Experience Corps is like and what you might experience in this program.
My name is Seth.
I'm Carlos.
My name's Penny.
My name is Alice.
My name is Ed.
I love reading with Lucille.
I'm Lucille.
My name is Sky.
To be frank with you, that's my name, Frank.
Frank is so funny.
They lift my spirits every time I see them.
My dream is to be a scientist. My dream is to be a veterinarian.
To be a zookeeper. To be a builder.
Write a book.
I can't wait to read Sky's book someday.
My dream is to help them reach theirs.
Experience Corps is a dream come true for me. Working with them is hands down the best part of my week. Those kids crack me up. When you show up every week, they see you won't give up on them.
I just love kids. I wanted to help in any way I could.
I want to be able to write a letter to my grandma.
I want to read science books, especially about tigers.
I wanted to feel important again.
I want to read like my friends.
I've seen Seth grow by leaps and bounds since working with Clyde. It's like he's a different kid.
I'm not a teacher, but I love being there, and I'm a darn good listener.
I've never seen anything like this before, and I've been a principal for 12 years. This program has really opened my eyes to how something so simple can change so many lives, not just the lives of the kids.
It's amazing to see the impact Alice has had on my son. It's made a huge difference.
I'm glad that Alice doesn't get frustrated with me.
It feels so good to help these kids, but they have no idea how much they help me.
I love Alice. She believes in me, and she always tells me, "You can do it."
I love being a part of something great.
I found a new sense of purpose. They let me into their world a couple of times a week. It's amazing.
So, what's my dream? It's a community of all kinds of people working together to lift each other up. That dream may come true after all.
So that is a little bit about our program, and I look forward to any questions you have.
Jared, tell us about Wish of a
All right.
Lifetime.
Last but not least, thank you so much for letting me be on this panel, Al and Tom and Mayoshi. It's totally an honor to join you all. So my name is Jared Bloomfield, and just for our slide people in the back, we'll probably stick on this slide mainly. So thank you so much for being my clicker. We are Wish of a Lifetime, so a nonprofit organization that grants wishes to older adults. And a few of the slides that we may show, if we ask questions or here during the presentation is just to bring some photos, some images to what I'm going to be speaking about today. Before I get into what Wish of a Lifetime is, I would just be so interested to know if anybody here has heard of Wish of a Lifetime by a show of hands. Okay, so that's exactly my job, and that's why I have a lot of work to do. Wish of a Lifetime is a nonprofit organization. We grant wishes to senior citizens all around the United States, 65 plus. I guess, just like Tom said, we are Wish of a Lifetime from AARP. We affiliated with AARP about 2 years ago, and the main reason we affiliated with AARP is to be in a room like this. Wish of a Lifetime is based in Denver, Colorado, but we do grant wishes to older adults all around the United States. Unfortunately, we're kind of the best kept secret when you think about bringing a wish experience to older adults, in that we've granted 2,200 wishes since our founding in 2008. Those wishes can be as simple as going to a baseball game for the first time, and as complicated and well built out. We actually, just a few months ago, sent a Tuskegee Airman to be honored for his service. He's 99 years old, and we sent him to Washington, D.C., and then to Nellis Air Force Base. Really an amazing story. Lieutenant Colonel James Harvey, if anybody wants to look up, we have some incredible videos online at www.wishofalifetime.org. So when we affiliated with AARP, the question is, how can we spread what we do nationwide? Again, very much national, but based in Denver, Colorado, and we had a lot of difficulty spreading the word about wishes. We actually have less wishes coming in than we would like to grant. Now, why is that? I was so glad that I came here early and listened to the conversation about fraud that you just led. It's too good to be true. It is too good to be true, and when we, I have 2 grandparents that had a really horrible experience with fraud as well. And so when we call our older adults or our volunteers and say, congratulations, we're going to grant your wish, they go, come on. My grandma has this certain eye roll that she'd be very proud that I just recreated. But you can feel that over the phone. You can feel that over the phone, right? And what AARP has done for us is it's provided us a sense of authority, right? That Wish of a Lifetime isn't just a random organization that all of a sudden is going to ask for your social security number or is going to ask you for your bank statement. We do none of that, and we're actually incredibly careful about respecting any personal financial information. We ask older adults to sign a liability release form, as all volunteers have to sign with an AARP, and that's it. So why I'm so excited to be here today is because you all are the currency, the connectors throughout the United States. And it's our job on the National Field Program that I'm leading to train and engage volunteers to learn about Wish of a Lifetime and then to spread the word so that neighbors, friends, family, senior communities not only know about the incredible wishes that Wish of a Lifetime grants, again, looking to work with older adults 65 plus on life-enriching experiences that absolutely range, but celebrates the legacy of the older adult in a way that truly tells a story to members of our younger generations about how amazing seniors are, right? Not only educating, but also saying, this is real. This is not a publisher's clearinghouse type situation. Nobody's going to show up with a big check. But this is an incredible opportunity that our older adults deserve, and we need, just like Tom and Mayoshi, we need senior stories in order to change the way people view aging and grow our ability as an organization to tell stories. And so I'm so excited to be here and educate you all. Tom and I and Mayoshi were just talking about, he has a much better term for ambassadors. He calls them fellows. We do not have a better term. So we call them ambassadors. But we really have to think about something better. I'm so excited for you all to be able to go back in your communities and spread the word about our incredible program, because we are looking for wish applications to tell stories fairly desperately. So again, thank you so much, Al and team, for having me, and I'm excited to be part of this discussion.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you. That's excellent. So get those applications out. We'll give you some more info on that. So a little bit of Q&A before we open it up to the audience. And the first question, Tom, we're lucky enough to be in the 21st century where technology is so much a part of our lives. And especially as we age, technology can be a tremendous aid in helping, whether it's securing a car to drive you somewhere, or if you fall or something happens to you. Can you tell us a little bit about sort of the progress of where technology is at now and where it's going to help folks age in a way in which technology can help their lives every day?
Sure. I was on a panel yesterday in Columbus, Ohio, I just flew in from Ohio, and my arms are tired. But we were talking about this, and the issue was when we started looking, when technology started really accelerating about 25 years ago, there was a general momentum where people thought that it was going to get really easy to use. And in fact, in some ways, it got better. You know, some of you may remember the old DOS computers that you had to type in the commands and things like that, or some of the really clunky early, user interfaces that didn't really work very well. And a lot of those challenges have gotten easier and better. And so the user interfaces in technology have become more intuitive and a little bit more reliable. And certainly with voice activation, it is really bringing a lot more people right online, because you don't have such a strong learning curve if you can just say, I hope nobody here has an Alexa in the room. If you can just say, hey, Alexa, turn on the lights, most people can learn to do that, whereas you don't have to learn how to program a whole bunch of things or do stuff. The challenges have been, though, that there is still a very rapid pace of technological development. So instead of having to teach people to spend, our courses go for 5 weeks for beginners, and then we do another 5 weeks to help people really get comfortable with the device. And we're spending a lot of time teaching people about where to find the icons and where to, what order to do certain things. The shift seems to be toward having to make decisions about platforms. So if you're at home now, everything's a smart device. Does your stove talk to your fire alarm? And does your doorbell talk to your light switch? And so you need to think about, am I in a Google Home, or am I in an Amazon Echo Home, or how much of this smart home stuff do I even want to do? And so those changes are learning challenges for people. But what we're finding is there seem to be two thresholds for the average older adult. One threshold is people who have not done any of this and are still they were trying to wait it out, and then they realized that that's not working, right? And we get a lot of people like that. They come in, oh, I'm 80 years old, and I thought that I was gonna, not need to learn the technology, and now I feel like I'm going pretty strong, and everybody else is ordering online and doing all this stuff, and I need to learn it. So we get a lot of basics there. People who cross that threshold have a life-changing experience, because they'll say, it's a whole new world opening up to me. It takes about 10 weeks of twice-a-week effort for somebody from that place to get comfortable with a device. So for those of you out there thinking about volunteering and helping, that's the commitment. We do it, and we really have success. The other people are what I would call the accelerators. They're online, they're using technology, and now they're realizing that there are things in their lives that can really change, and they can learn them, but they need some guidance around where to go and what to do, what the opportunities are. Because not everybody's neighbors or friends know that you can start a business online. I have an older woman in her 80s in New York who started an online business and is paying her bills now remotely and having a great time at it. So those are the real changes that are starting to happen.
I'd like to weigh in on that. I wanted to share, during the pandemic, as you all know, a lot of schools, particularly in this area, went virtual. And so in March of 2020 is when everything shut down, and we heard from our volunteers that they wanted to do something. They wanted to continue to do something, and we had to figure it out. And schools were trying to figure out, what are they doing? How are we going to teach our kids? And so as they were figuring it out, we were partnering with them and trying to understand how we can continue to support the students. And what we found is that there were a lot of volunteers who were in both categories. There were volunteers who said, I am so committed to these kids. I want to do this. I am fearful of technology, but I am committed and I want to do this. So how can I do this? And there were others who were comfortable with technology, and they said, I want to do this as well. So what we did was created training for both parties. We created training so that the volunteers who wanted to continue to tutor, we train them on the platforms, and we train them on the devices and how to turn on cameras, and it was a lot of hand holding that we provided. But what we found is that by the end, we had every volunteer who had committed to the year stayed with us through the year, continued with those students, and they came back this past year. They continue to do that for school, particularly for those schools who were tutoring virtually. So not only is it that there's interest, there's commitment, there are other things that motivate people to want to learn. And what we found is sort of a collateral effect is we heard from all of our volunteers that they were now FaceTiming their grandchildren and reading them stories at night. They were using Instacart. They were finding ways to navigate through the pandemic because we, through our program, helped them feel more comfortable using the technology. And it was all based on their commitment to wanting to continue to work with the students. So I think technology is here to stay, and we're looking to, I mean, of course it's here to stay, but we're looking to see how we can incorporate this into our model so that we have both in-person tutoring and virtual tutoring for students who are where tutors might not be able to get to them physically if there are transportation or mobility issues. This is still a way that older adults can continue to serve their communities.
Thank you, Mayushi. And Jared, Wish of a Lifetime recently merged with AARP. So what are some of the challenges that you're facing, and what surprised you about that?
Thanks for the question. So, yeah, so we affiliated in August of 2020. So we're a little bit more than 2 years old at this point, and the opportunity for us is to be able to open up this network. Again, Wish of a Lifetime over the past 2 years, obviously with the pandemic, the virtual environment wasn't quite as kind to us. And so it's been really great to hear from Mayushi and Tom about, obviously, Tom, I would assume, that the virtual environment went fairly well. But as we transition into this I know somebody else said post-pandemic and it made them feel uncomfortable. I feel the same way, like semi-post-pandemic era. Really what we're looking at is how to engage our volunteers in our WISH experiences. And that's really what AARP has provided us an opportunity to do, right? And so we used to be granting wishes all across the United States. Typically these wishes, we would send a companion with an older adult for their WISH experience. The WISH experience would be anywhere between 2 to 3 days. And what we would ask our volunteers to do is to do what I'm asking you all to do. Research Wish of a Lifetime, understand what it takes for a WISH application to be approved. About half of our WISH applications unofficially are approved, and so it's much easier than people think. And then to spread that word. But now, going back to your question, Al, we have an amazing opportunity to actually engage volunteers on wishes. So we're not just looking for volunteers to submit wishes for themselves or their family. We're asking volunteers to be part of the WISH experience. So that could mean bringing a WISH recipient to the airport. That could mean being a WISH recipient's companion. We have a WISH recipient that's going to be coming to D.C. For anybody out here in D.C. In 6 weeks who doesn't have a companion, no friends or family that she feels comfortable taking a trip with her. And so without a companion, she'd be unable to go. And so Wish of a Lifetime actually has the opportunity to pay a volunteer to cover their trip to have that experience. And so that's been the really exciting opportunity, specifically in the field program, which I run, which is our grassroots community engagement program, is how do we engage volunteers in those wishes in a thorough way, right? Because as all of you know, clear communication is so important to make sure experiences are good. And when you nationalize, when you truly nationalize, you have to combine personability with efficiency and professionalism. And that's what we're so excited to do. And AARP has been a great supporter of us in that. But you know, I know Tom had mentioned that he feels like Oates is fairly small at like 80. We were 9. And so I would say that's not middle size, 9. Probably 9 isn't middle size. It used to be 6. So, but now we are growing. We'll be about 20 people at the end of this year. But to truly nationalize has been a really exciting challenge, and the only way we do that is through buy-in nationwide. Thanks, Al.
Thank you, Jared. And Tom, I was really pleased to hear that your program was working in Bedford-Stuyvesant, because I am a kid from Brooklyn, so pleased to hear that. But can you tell us more about your programming, your vision for Oates, and how retired educators can get more involved and help?
Sure, I'd be happy to. We started out with this Senior Planet model, and so you can sort of think about it as a series of high-quality centers that are kind of flagships. The first one was in Manhattan, in Chelsea, and I always say I'm from New York, but don't hold that against us, right? And we went out from our second site. We picked a site in northern New York State, which is in a rural area called Plattsburgh, where they actually listen to the radio in French because it comes over the border from Canada. And we were able to test out the models in these two centers to really develop this curriculum. And we have about 3,000 pages of curriculum. We teach in English and Spanish, but also in Chinese and Russian and Bengali and Vietnamese now. So there's a lot of materials there. And because we have these centers, these flagships, there's a real sense of investing in the model, investing in innovation, and thinking about what do people really want to learn. We try things that don't work all the time, by the way. We fail every day, but because we're innovating, we learn from that, and we come back with a new iteration. And the things that don't work, we try something different. And those centers are places where we're really using them as laboratories for learning. The centers we have now are in New York City, Plattsburgh, Denver, in that Lowry Air Force Base, where we took over part of one of the old airplane hangars and put
It's amazing.
It's
so cool.
Super cool place. Like if you want to go to a really hip club in Denver, come to Senior Planet. I'm not exaggerating. It's that good. I should have shown a picture of that one, but it's really cool. We have one in Palo Alto, California, which is co-located with Avenidas, and we're launching one in Miami in Wynwood, which is the kind of creative arts part of Miami right now. And we're working on a collaborative design process with AARP volunteers and people that we've recruited down there who are helping us visualize what they want in the center, and they're sitting right with the architect and designing the space. So it's really this amazing thing. So one place is if you're in any of those locations, or San Antonio, Texas, or Montgomery County, Maryland, where we have staff on the ground doing trainings, we can always use volunteers. If you're not sure how to contact us, we made it very easy. info@oats.org. Just say I want to volunteer, and Tom said to send you an email. They will follow up. And just info@oats.org for anything. We have people that just staff that inbox every day, and they'll direct you to the right place. The other things that people can do are, we have an affiliate program at Oats, because we don't want to have to hire staff in every single neighborhood all over the country. That's crazy, right? So what we're doing instead is we're empowering local organizations to take advantage of that 3,000 pages of curriculum. Who wants to write a course on iPads in Spanish? We've already got that. So if you're a community organization or a nonprofit or a library or a senior housing community, and you'd like to take advantage of Senior Planet, you apply to our affiliate program. Again, how do you do it? info@oats.org. I'm interested in the affiliate program, and we will put you in touch with the affiliate person who manages that. And we can sign up a nonprofit. We'll train them to use our technology courses, and they can teach. They have access to all our library of curriculum and our coaching and support. And all we ask is that they share data so that we can make sure that the quality of the program is maintained, and that we're all learning together about the impact, and we can continue to see what we're really accomplishing. And then the last part is we have, and so the affiliate program is we have over 100 affiliates now, and our target is to grow that to about 250 by the end of next year. So feel free to engage on that. And then the last part is through the AARP state offices. We're doing programs that are involving the AARP volunteers at the state offices. This year in Oklahoma and Nebraska, and I think we're just about to add one more state, we're doing a fellowship program where people can join and kind of become champions of Senior Planet and Oats in those states. So if you're interested in really getting involved and want to take some leadership on this, tell your state office that you're interested in working with Oats and that you'd like to pick up the fellowship program when that starts, because we're going to be expanding that next year.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Excellent info there, folks.
I'd
Okay.
like to
I was
answer
saying, Mayoshi, I was
the
gonna
same
say,
question.
yeah, sure. Like, tell us more about how literacy in your program affects older adults and how retired educators get involved.
Yes, that's like I said, I'm very excited to be here because 50% of our volunteer tutors are former educators or part of the have education experience, work experience, and so what the program actually has been in existence for 25 years, and it was started with community teachers in their communities that we initially launched, and so we've grown to where we have 50% of our volunteers are educators, and so what we have is a very rigorous training program. We have a very structured curriculum that we employ, and we provide our training specifically on that. And now with our move toward virtual, we also have very focused training on how to tutor virtually. So if there is an opportunity or an interest in doing that as well, we provide training on that. So we are available, as I mentioned, we have 18 locations around the country. We were looking to grow. You can find, if you're interested in being a tutor right now, you can go to aarp.org /experience core, and you can enter your zip code, and it'll identify. You'll be able to identify the location that's closest to you, where you can volunteer. Or if you are interested and think that your community deserves an Experience Corps program, contact me, because we're looking to grow and we're really focused on where are the communities where we want to bring our program. So I hope that I hear from all of you or many of you who might be interested in tutoring and helping to support these kids, because as you know, during the pandemic, the learning losses have been significant, and we are working overtime to help minimize that and help our students in our communities.
And Jared, how do we get more involved in Wish of a Lifetime? I'm sure many of us out there have something we want to do, and how do we go about connecting with you?
Thanks, Al. So I think first off, and we're throwing a lot of websites at you, but I'm going to throw another one at you, and if you have any questions, you can come. I still have business cards. I wonder how long we're going to be able to have business cards, but I love my business cards, even though nobody really wants them. So, we are at www.wishofalifetime.org /application. And I think there's a couple ways to get involved. The first way to get involved is submit a wish for yourself or a family member. Now, I think it's really important when I talk about the wishes that we've done. I talked about Lieutenant Colonel James Harvey. We have an amazing story. 3 centenarian, those are people above 100 years old. 3 centenarian sisters who their wish was to reunite after 35 years. And so we had 110, 107, and 103-year-old sister reconnect, which was, I know, it was pretty cool. We have sent Holocaust survivors to Israel. We've sent veterans not only to D.C., but also Pearl Harbor and Normandy for those that stormed the beaches. We've done such incredible wishes for people that have very unique life stories. Actually, I don't know if Josh is still here, but we had somebody who is an electric car enthusiast who wouldn't probably be fair. It's more than that, but this is somebody that's committed his entire adult life to electric vehicles. He was actually at GM this week in Detroit and had an opportunity to drive an electric vehicle, and I guess it goes like 0 to 75 really quick, which I don't really care about, but it's, it's cool. It's cool for the environment, and it's, innovation is great. I still have an 06 Honda Accord. But anyways, so when we talk about what we need from you, I think when you think about those wishes and you think, well, I don't have one. I don't have something like that, right? But our wishes can also be incredibly simple. Again, one of my favorite wishes was an older adult that wanted to go to the Red Lobster because she used to always go to the Red Lobster with family, and her family moved away. And she used to drive there, but now she can't drive there, right? And so that was a $200 wish, and it took us not that much time to put together. But it was incredibly impactful for her. And so we're looking for unique life experiences. There is no better. There is no better or worse. We've done 2,200. They're all incredibly different and unique. So that would be my first ask. Apply for a wish for yourself, family member, or a community member. The second piece is we are growing and working really hard with AARP, like thanks to the Office of Community Engagement and Maury and Al for allowing us to even be here, to spread our word and our mission. So if you're interested in volunteering, we have a bunch of other opportunities. We deliver roses to seniors all around the United States on Valentine's Day to spread awareness on senior isolation and intergenerational connection. This year we get to deliver about 450,000 roses and cards. So suffice it to say, I could use a few volunteers. So if you're interested in spreading the word about wishes, being involved in a wish, or being, again, our volunteer ambassador, sorry, don't have a better word for that, please find me afterwards and we'll connect information. Thanks.
Thanks, Jared. So we have time for 1 or 2 questions. There we go. We got one here. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Edwina Williams, and I'm president of the Florida Retired Educators. We have strong literacy programs in our state, and we want your organization. We will sponsor you. We will support you. We have the teachers. You have the curriculum. We can put it in play. So please see me.
Absolutely.
And I have a business card.
There you go.
Great, great.
All right, one more, and then we have to wrap it up. Yep. One more out there. There we go. Tim, yeah.
I forget that I'm talking to educators. Jared, not so much a question, just a comment. Many thanks to Wish of a Lifetime for doing the Centenarian Luncheon in Montana this coming month. We're going to have 20 different centenarians or more, 20 to 25, and you all are going to be sponsoring that. We greatly appreciate that. It's a great way to start it out and to network by using that. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Let's give a big round of applause for the panel. Thank you so much.